Hey guys, it's Carter. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today. Now, in today's video, we are going to be talking about how to trade full time. We're going to be talking about tips and tricks and stocks with opportunity. We're going to talk about trades that we recently just covered profit on. All that good stuff, stocks with opportunity, good strategies, the best approach, and honestly, how to make that transition, how to go from maybe working your 9 to 5 to becoming a trader. So, like, follow, and if you want to learn more about trading, check out our school. It's fantastic. It's called the Swing Trading Masterclass. We've got private live streams, quizzes, lectures, a group chat, but more importantly, we actually teach you how to find stocks. We teach you how to build your strategy, how to build your checklist. So I'll put a link to that down below. So feel free, check it out. And you guys can get 50% off by using code Halloween. Code Halloween, only one spot left. So check it out. And guys, let's dive into this. So everybody's main goal when it comes with trading is one, to get rich quick, two, to quit your 9 to 5. And here's the reality of it is it's going to take time. There's no such thing as getting rich quick. And honestly, you have to play the long game. What I mean by that is if you're somebody that wants to get rich and you're trying to take these super risky trades to double your money every day or double your account in 30 days, you're never going to do it. It's extremely difficult. The statistics are, if you want to be in the top 5% of all traders, so some of the best traders, right, in the entire world, they make about 3% per month. So if you think about that, 3% on $100 is $3. That's not even enough to buy a coffee nowadays. So if you're trying to get rich, it's going to take a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of education, but it's doable. The best approach that I came across is one, a breakout approach that we'll show you guys here in a second. Two, it's understanding that when you're up and you're maybe up 5-10% in a week, you guys should have no problem covering profit and moving on to other opportunity. I've seen it so many times where traders get in a position, they're up 10-20% in a week or a month, and they hold, and the next thing you know, they're losing money because the trade's gone south, the trade already happened. And it was just a terrible, terrible, thing for them. But they were up so much money at one point. So you have to understand that it's doable. But let's dive into some of the best strategies that you guys can use to start making some good money here. So we'll talk about stocks here that we're holding, that we've taken swing trades on, and it worked out really, really well. So the first thing I want to kind of talk to you guys about is going to be the broker. Now, having a good broker is so incredibly important because it can really help you finding opportunity, figuring out supports, using good indicators, all of that good stuff. So this is a stock that we traded. This is Google. We've traded this thing so many different times. And looking at this, let's remove some of these indicators so you can see. So the first thing I always look for is trends, right? I'm always going to make sure the stock has some sort of upward trend because I'm a long swing trader, meaning I buy and I sell it at a higher price, hopefully, right? There's other types of traders like short traders, there's day traders, but for me, a long swing trade means I'm buying the stock and I'm holding it for several days, right? Now, with this trade, we've actually held it quite a long time. And if you look back at some of our previous videos where we talk about getting in on this is very, very simple, right? If you go watch some of the videos a long time ago, like several months ago, I talk about my entry points with this, but the approach is simple. You can see this red line right here, right? It hits this point, right, several times. Each and every time it gets natural buying pressure. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, right? And then recently we had this huge sell-off, right? Down from 208 all the way down to lows here at $147, right in this range. And we knew, right? We knew we could get some sort of buying pressure out of this because of the recent tendencies, right, of hitting that same red line, getting basic support levels, right, hitting it, getting buying pressure. So ideally, this would be the best time, right, to get in on the position. Now, for me, I want to add it a little different than the norm. And honestly, the approach is still very, very similar. It's using other indicators, right? Like you can see where it was hitting this other red 200-day moving average line, which is a technical indicator traders use. It hit once, twice, three times, four times, right? So it had a lot of buying pressure around that point. So I actually started my buying levels near and around the 174 mark. Now, the approach was simple. With a blue chip, well established company like Google, I could go, okay, if it sells off, we'll average down. And that's exactly what we did. So the stock, we continue to average down about once a week, giving a good average price at about $165. Now, we also waited for the breakout of this blue line where the stock popped up above it, right? Bringing a even lower average cost, right? That's why our average cost was so low. So ideally for the swing trade would have been a good entry point right here at and above that blue line essentially. And the stock rallied its way up, been performing very, very, very well. So now as far as holding the position, right? We've just kind of seen this nice and steady upward trend, keeping our stop loss below that, right? So it's panned out very, very well, right? Stock on an upward trend. We also used an indicator by the RSI that was trading for 27. The last time I was trading for that was in this range right here, where we saw immediate buying pressure out of it. So I knew we had some sort of opportunity here with the stock. We also went to some other time frames, right? Like the 4 hourly, and you can even see some of our, trying to figure out breakout situations here. But look at this, right? We had the best one was around here, giving that average cost, right, near and around that 160, which our entry point was near 165. So I can't complain with this, but very, very solid trade out of this. And if we look at a lot of our swing trades, right, we'll go ahead, pop our indicators back up, but a lot of them are very similar, right? QQQ, huge sell off here. We had a great breakout above here, right? Boom, 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 rallied its way up. Look at Meta, another breakout. Look at Mags, another breakout. Look at NVIDIA, right? Getting a good average price of NVIDIA near around the 123 area. And this thing is moving up like crazy. Berkshire Hathaway, right? We got Microsoft, right? Downward trend. If we see this here, you can even see it a lot better like that. So good breakout there. Same with VU. We recently took a position on SPY, right? Selling off, using that opportunity of sell off to our advantage, right? So selling off to a heavy support line on this white line right here. We'll go ahead and draw it out for you guys. So it hits this point of contact several times, hit it, undervalued RSI, great move, right? And so the first rule when it comes with swing trading is you can't be fearful of sell off. Sell off brings opportunity. For me, I love to swing trade more blue chip, well established companies. We also took a trade that we covered last week on Home Depot. Home Depot, heavy support, right? On this white line. Boom, boom, boom. Recently sold off here like crazy to these levels near and around that white support line. If we go to a lower time frame like that hourly here, let's go ahead and see. You can see this one here was a little different, had heavy resistance on this blue line, a 90-day EMA line, popped up above it, getting a good average price near and around the 383 area, rallied up, found support right in here, broke down of that, got out at 388, which might not seem like a big move, yes, but one, we know the data, and that's almost 2%. So if we can make 3% in a month, we're in the top 5%. I'll gladly take this trade any day of the week, right? So now as far as opportunity goes, like how do you find stocks with potential? So here are two stocks that look relatively interesting, right? We have ticker symbol ORLY. This one is also known as O'Reilly Automotive. So a little more well-established retail giant, right? So you can see great upward trend. trends are super important. And then also sell off, right? Went from 108 all the way down to 94. Heavy support here on these moving average lines. So this red 200-day moving average line, you can see it's hit it several times. Boom, boom, boom. In this range, right? So I know we can get some sort of move going up. Also, we can go to a lower time frame, whether it's the hourly or even the 4-hourly. So looking at the 4-hourly does give a little better picture with the stock here, and it appears to be using the 200-day and the 50-day EMA as heavy resistance. So for that breakout, we'll just set an alert right above that. So if it pops up, ready to rock and roll. Another stock here that looks relatively good here is ticker symbol SE. Looking at this here, very similar, right? Stock on an upward trend, heavy support here on this 200-day moving average line, right? It hit it once, twice, 3 times recently. Had a huge move from about $200 all the way to $155. Going to that 4-hourly time frame, heavy resistance on this trend line right here, right? So we can get some sort of move going up. We'll throw a alert so we're ready to rock and roll if it pops up. But that's the approach, right? And that's why having a good broker, understanding your trades, not being fearful of sell-off is so incredibly important, guys. So check out our school. Sign up with Moomoo. There's links down below for everything. I'll see you guys in there. Like, follow, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you guys tomorrow in the next one. Take care.